Welcome back, everybody, to the Clashing Conferences podcast. I'm Matt, back to host the football podcast again. Maybe because Mike is locked up in a basement somewhere with Tyreek Stevenson, I don't know. Or maybe because Mike is too embarrassed that he got the quote of the week when he said Caleb Daniels was going to be Rookie of the Year. He was going uphill. Jaden Daniels was going downhill. I don't know what happened. It's craziness. But I'm here. I'm Matt, rocking these cool Phillies sunglasses in support of my guy Lewis, who's still upset that the Phillies didn't win as many games as the Mets. Sorry, Lewis. My glasses have a crack in them. We might have to change them up there at halftime. They call out when I get going crazy. Before we meet the rest of the boys here real quick, let's get through a few quick host notes. The big week here at Clashing Conferences podcast. Number one, stay tuned at the end for some special content, very special. Probably some dumb shit, but special. Just watch it. Number two, baseball pod. Drops on Friday. Lots of surprises. Lots of special guests. It's going to be crazy. You have to tune in. There's going to be a swag wheel. We're going to give stuff away. It's going to be a great time. Number three, there's a new group in the studio this week. Fresh faces and Clashing Conferences coming to you soon. We're having all new content, all new shows. It's going to be the College Passion, I'm told. It's going to drop on Fridays as soon as baseball is over. Last but not least, as always, please check out the clashingconferences.com. Join Patreon. Get in there. Be part of the network. Be part of the fun. You're going to see new people soon. You can be next. Let's go. Now, gentlemen.
You nailed it.
You nailed it. Week 8. It was a great week. How we doing? I see some costumes. Before we get into it, let's get a quick recap of the week. In the internal competition, we had Greg, Luigi, Stanley with 3 points sweeping the week. Everyone else gets
Sweep
1 point. We had on the field, we had big wins by the Commanders and the Eagles. We had losses by the Giants and Cowboys going down to the Steelers and Niners. That internal competition, the points were team win, 1 for Greg, 1 for Paul. The prop bet, Greg went over his expected points of 23.5. Chris went over the points of 15.5 with the Giants. Randy went over 20.5 with Dallas. The turnovers plus or minus goes to Greg at +2. Greg, you sweep the week. You get the big win. What do you got for us from week 8?
Man, I'll tell you what. It's the first win of the year where I can say, wow, we did it kind of on all areas of the game, just to be honest. I think our defense looked pretty good. Our cornerbacks, our linebackers, the D-line. I mean, we didn't have 8 sacks like we did last week. We only had 1, but we gave pressure. We had pressure up the middle, pressure on the edges. It was assignment football. I think we did what we had to do. We went in there. We had a statement win. It was close at halftime, and then we pulled away. I think we hit all the facets of it. I mean, I think our running game is starting to click. Saquon averaged about 5 yards a carry with a buck 104 or something like that. AJ had 85 yards. Smitty had 86 yards. Jalen Hurts rushed the ball, accounted for 4 touchdowns. And more importantly, we had no turnovers, 0 turnovers. And that's what it's going to take to win in this league. It's, again, I think these young kids are playing really good. They're starting to adapt to the new D coordinator. Honestly, I think Nick took a step back during our bye week and said, I think I got to do a little bit less. I can't mingle as much. You're seeing Kellen Moore's offense come out. You're seeing the running. You're seeing the pre-snap motions. You're seeing all of the things that I talked about over the summer that I was excited about. And it's not like, let's go play playground ball and throw the ball 70 yards and try to catch touchdown passes. It's methodical. It's time of possession. It's winning the turnover battles. We had a forced fumble and an interception. I think the thing that's very telling to me is Chase, after the game, they asked him about the young kids, and he said they're legit. They're playing really good ball. Cooper DeJean's playing really good ball. Q's playing good at cornerback. So I'm excited for the first time this year. I know we're 6-2, but that was really the first game that honestly I can, like I mentioned, can be excited about.
5-2.
So now 5-2. Sorry, 5-2. So now it's like we go to next week. And just keep going to that week to week mentality. Watching the other games, I got to be honest with you. I think Washington is legit. I think they're going to go as far as Daniels goes. I think, the Bears, sorry, Mike, Matt, sorry about this, but I think the Bears gave them that game. I think in a couple different respects.
Read it right there.
That.
MVP of the game, Tyreek Stevenson, MVP.
I think at the very end of the game, obviously we're going to be ripping that guy for doing what he did, but I ripped the coach more for not sending more than 3 people, especially with a quarterback who's hurt and has hurt ribs. I maybe don't go single high, maybe do some type of a zone, but I bring some pressure. I don't bring 3 people and then have a spy. Zero reason to have a spy there. That guy did absolutely nothing. And then the guy that was mouthing to the crowd, I feel bad for him. I really do. Like, he was in the moment. He was heated. And it came back to bite him because his guy ultimately caught the ball that won the game. And he tipped it to him. Yeah, so it's tough to see him go through that. Obviously, I was rooting for him, Mike. Wanted to see Washington get a loss there. But I think their running game is real. I'm sure Paul will talk about it in a little bit. And the receivers, Scary Terry had some good catches. I think it's going to be a good matchup. I think they come to Philly in a couple weeks, and I'm actually excited for this game. I haven't been excited for a Washington game in several years, so I'm excited about that. Dallas, I think Dallas is starting to play a little bit better. They still are missing some key D linemen. The 49ers are good, but they didn't have any offensive weapons out there. They had no McCaffrey. They had no Ayuk. They had no Debo.
Debo was there.
He was there.
He got hurt.
Yeah, right.
Didn't he get hurt?
No, he played the whole game. He might have missed a couple.
I thought he got hurt. And I guess
got hurt.
And they have their fifth string running back in now. So it's like,
but
they
always run the ball good. It doesn't matter who's running the ball.
Yeah, I think Dallas has trouble. I think they have some fighting internal going. I think Jerry Jones is a little bit pissy, and I think we're a couple weeks from seeing the fireworks go off. And then, where do I go with the Giants? The guy with the bag on his head, he says enough. Your boy DJ is 1-15 all time in primetime games. Hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in 3 years? I know he was hurt, missed the year, but it's been a while, man.
The touchdown thing's at home. He's threw touchdowns on the road this year.
I didn't want to agree with Chris last week about the play calling, and then I watched that game last night, and I'm like, really? Like, what are we doing here?
Was pretty cool.
I guess
that was awesome.
2-point conversion. I thought it was cool.
See DJ get mad too. Like, he went over and flipped out. What I didn't understand about that play is, like, nobody moved.
No one blocked.
Jumped the line ahead of time.
Yeah.
He hit him before neighbors got there. So, like, I don't know what you guys thought. It could have just replayed the down. Like, I don't even understand what happened there.
He snapped it, and your offensive line didn't block.
Nobody did anything, but that dude hit neighbors before the ball even got there. Like, it was just, I don't know, dude. I could go on and trash them, but go ahead, keep going. I'm sure I'll
trash is appropriate.
That's why I got like this trash bag on my head, and Mike was talking about us dressed up. This ain't a costume. This is freaking reality right now. This is a joke. So yeah,
I think I want to hear more about it. I think
real quick before we go to Chris, Greg, I'm told that I got to give you some accolades here for a couple different things. You had
I had some picks, right?
You were just talking about this, and you had the number 2 quote of the week when you said, it doesn't matter who the Niners running back is. San Francisco wants to run it, and Dallas can't stop it. That's right. And with their number 2 running back getting hurt at the beginning of the game, put their number 3 running back in there, and he ran all over them. So you predicted that to a T. You also got all 4 of your picks right for the game. You picked the Eagles to win the turnovers. You picked the Eagles to go over their 23.5, and you got your bonus pick right. Bully ball. You said the Detroit Lions. Every time Detroit plays somebody, the next week that team was going to lose. Last week, you had a big upset with the Rams going to beat the Minnesota Vikings as underdogs. Rams beat them by 10. Greg, you crushed it last week.
I gotta like, you know, take my victories when I can get them. It's been a bad year for gambling. So yeah, I'll take that win.
I still can't believe they missed that face mask at the end of that Vikings game, though. Jeez Louise. Like,
that was true.
Terrible.
So blatant, right in front of everybody's face. Like, that was crazy.
Let's go to the opposite end of the spectrum here. And Chris, you already started talking a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what happened. You were at the game, right? You went to Pittsburgh, right?
I would like, yeah. Let me start with that because that was the highlight of it. Just going to Pittsburgh was great. I was telling Steven before we started, I'm jealous as a Giants fan. Like, I've always heard how bad our stadium is. I mean, it got like, you know, it's got all the bells and whistles for a concert and everything, and it's easy to switch it from green to blue, and all that's cool and everything. But as a fan, you want to go to a game and have fun and have interaction, and you want to cheer. And I mean, granted, your team got to be good for that to happen, but you still want the fans to get involved. Like, when I go to MetLife and I get hype and I stand up and cheer, you got old fuddy-duddies getting mad telling you to sit down. Dude, the whole crowd was in sync. Like, when they got a first down and that announcer came on and said, "That's another steal," the whole entire crowd is like, "First down." They're waving their towels when they tell. I mean, the place was rocking. The place is beautiful. The atmosphere was fantastic. The pregame was fantastic. I mean, I love the place. Like, it made me jealous of a place to tailgate. Somebody that loves football, like, it's crazy.
If you can put some duct tape on your mouth, I'll take you to one of our games, but you can't talk.
I've been there. I've been there though, dude. It's not the same atmosphere.
It is. It's a good atmosphere when we're winning.
Well,
even when we're losing.
I will say this: the Steeler fans are a lot better too. They were actually pretty cool. So, but other than that, the game. I'm glad you guys seen that because you guys beat me up every week. Like, my thing on DJ is they expect him to play perfect, right? The team has no scheme. It looks like a JV offense. Everybody knows what they're doing. They finally took a shot downfield to Slayton. That was nice. Why don't we see a couple more of them? Like, all they want to do is these little dump offs, these little swing passes to the flat, the play calling, the 2-point conversion, the penalties. Like, holy moly, dude. I was thinking about it. Like, you take away the boneheaded penalties. I think it was 2 in a row. I think I had an illegal shift and then a delay of game. It's like, how do you? There's like no discipline. I don't know if they're fighting with each other internally. Like, I had no idea. But on the way home, I was telling the guys, I was like, it's more than DJ. It's more than the play
I feel
call.
sorry for those guys on that car ride.
Dude, there's like a culture. No, they always want to complain about like dumb stuff.
Weird.
Like, you know, the culture though. Like,
how do you think we feel?
I feel like ever since they fired Tom Coughlin the way they did and did him dirty, I feel like the young Mara dude, the son, I feel like he's just running it to the ground, man. It's like it's awful.
He tried to tell you to keep Barkley, though. He did. He said, "I'm not going to be able to sleep if he goes to Philly."
Yeah, I looked into something that year. I keep telling you it was $11 million. You know, it was 3 years, $42 million. You know, it was $14 million a year we offered him that year before DJ's contract.
You chose DJ last year over Barkley.
No, but 3 years ago, there was a running back market where they were getting multi-year deals. That market crashed.
Right, yep. But that's because McCaffrey got like 16, right? And Barkley wanted McCaffrey money. We offered him 3 years, $42 million. He rejected it. Got tagged the next year, fired his agent, and then the highest he got offered was what? I can't remember what it was. Greg said $1 million less, like $11 million a year.
So I think we gave him 12.
I think you gave him like 12 and a half, and I think we were like a little under 11.
At 11, yeah.
Yeah. So he had a contract for $14 million a year, and he turned it down. And then they signed DJ that off season because he took us to the playoffs and won a playoff game. So it had nothing to do with him, but that's not the point of this conversation. The point of this conversation is the team is like in shambles and they shoot themselves in the foot every opportunity they get. And I don't know. I don't know what I want to do.
You in a paper bag.
Yeah, I keep thinking turn that paper bag over, throw your whole team in it. You're off to a better freaking start, man.
Well, I gave Paul all kinds of crap last year for wanting to lose, and the reason why I don't like to lose is because I hate going to the games and watching them lose and driving 2 hours on the way home. It just sucks, right? But at the same time, I don't want to sit here and go through this again for a third year with you guys and be 2-6 next year to start the season. So I don't care what they do; they just got to figure it out. And
It's time.
it's a terrible look to keep firing your GM, keep firing your coach. I don't think they're terrible guys. I think they have a good draft class. DJ does get hurt. We're not winning with him. But then the argument comes up, bench him. But they don't bench him. He's starting again next week. He didn't play bad enough to get benched. He had like 260-some yards, no touchdown. But it's more than just DJ. Like, the play calling's awful.
Yeah, you forgot to add that in there.
One very bad pick at the end of the game, unfortunately trying to go down and take the lead. The sack fumble, I don't give him any problems for that.
Listen, you rag on Jalen Hurts for turning the ball over, but when your guy does it, it's like, it was TJ Watt.
TJ only got 5 picks, dude. When a guy gets plastered on his block, they get paid too, right? TJ Watt's a monster. He made a play.
Yeah, he did.
He made a play. It is what it is. It's unfortunate, but it's what happened. Seen a lot of drops. I don't know about you guys. I seen a play to Neighbors down the side of the field. They grabbed him. I thought they could have called pass interference. I seen him drop 2. Other than that, DJ, what 1, maybe 2 for 3, 2 for 4 on deep balls. I mean, they don't do it enough, man. They just don't. They don't push the ball. They don't get explosive. They can't even scheme their best player open. Doesn't make any sense.
I just think it's ironic that you talk about Neighbors this, Neighbors that. When you look at the numbers, like Slayton's numbers are pretty comparable to Neighbors.
I like Slayton. I told you that last year, but
you tell us you like everybody. So that's my
argument. Slayton isn't a number 1. Slayton isn't a 6th overall pick, though. Like, you're not basing your franchise around Slayton.
Nah, Neighbors was putting up good numbers until he got that concussion. You know that. First couple games of the season, he was in the top 5 of every category, but I don't understand that either. Like, scheme the guy open, dude. Like, come on. That's the other thing. DJ's deep ball looks absolutely fine when he throws to Slayton. So I guess it's like a combination of them being together so long. Like, I told Brandon on the way home, I said, man, wouldn't it have been nice if, like, Thomas never got hurt, Gano never got hurt, Neighbors never got hurt. By week 7, week 8, we might have been okay. But here we are.
It's football.
2-6. Another bad year. They got to do something.
Listen, you have to fight through the adversity. We don't have our left tackle, and we're still fighting.
We're not as talented as you guys. But, yeah, you were 100% right. I gave you shit before the game or around halftime because it was 3-0. But what you guys did in the second half is that's why I was giving you shit in the first half. That's what I expected to see. I mean, you guys might have finally figured it out. You did look good in the second half. You did.
All right. Yep.
Who's up?
All right. Want to go down to...
I think it's my turn. Hail MVP Tyreek Stevenson.
We're going to have to work on your signs because it's a little it's not focused. Not going to work.
Sorry, Paul.
You can keep trying, but it's not working.
We'll see it in the replay.
The red and the yellow, it doesn't really work together.
I think
Washington colors.
I think it looks perfect. I think it looks perfect.
Daddy in the chat. In the chat said Tony P. Wi-Fi.
That was an excellent game to watch for sure. It looked like a Giants Washington game there with 67 field goals to start with it. But
field goal.
You gotta be kidding me. All right, you were kidding me. Keep going.
What happened?
What?
What are you crying about?
When you said that was an excellent game to watch. It was an awful game to watch until the last 13 seconds.
And then it turned into an awesome game, and now it's a classic.
It was a very competitive game,
now it's a classic. I mean, we had 500.
It is a classic for sure.
Just saying from a fan perspective, and we're a fan network. It was a nail biter. Game.
Mike, bald Santa Claus over here.
It was a nail biter for sure. Now we had 500 yards of offense, and just like the Giants game, could get all the way down to like the 30 or below, even inside the 10, and just couldn't seal the deal. Like 4 or 5 times, it was ridiculous. I thought we were going to be up 35-0 at one point.
I think I helped
you could definitely tell, not because he was wincing, but you could actually tell. I was, again, he didn't have any turnovers. Team didn't have any turnovers, but I was pretty surprised he didn't throw a pick. He couldn't get the zip on it that he normally does, so he was letting a couple of them sail, and a couple of them were a little too low. So it wouldn't take tons to step in front of that or get behind one of those. So I am a little surprised. He did take some hits and kept going for sure. He wasn't no darn freaking Anthony Richardson saying, "I'm tired. Let me go sit on the sideline some." Well, now you can sit on the sideline the rest of the year. We're definitely going to ride.
We get a break.
We're riding Daniels the whole way. I'm very, very cautious when with what I say during games and before games, because it literally could end just in a snap of the fingers. I mean, it doesn't even take Thanos to end this one. I mean, it literally is. It's incredible what is bringing this team up could also bring it down so quickly. But Greg was right. The running game looks great, and it's only helping everybody. It's helping him run, and just like Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry is making Lamar Jackson. He's going to get Lamar Jackson in a third MVP, because Lamar Jackson can do whatever he wants, wherever he wants. And then if he decides to throw it, sure, we've already opened that up because there's already a bunch of people crowding the box, because the run game is respected.
Mm-hmm.
I think Terry actually had a lot of big plays that were to him, like some long plays. And I think a healthier Daniels may have kind of got those in there. And again, I think we're lucky that he didn't throw any picks. But, I was about ready to turn the TV off for sure. I saw all these different people that had all these futures and all this stuff of, oh, I'm going to put down $1,000 just to win $10 here on the last play. Well, guess what, sucker? That was amazing for sure. Couldn't be any.
Nobody did that.
Hey, sourpuss.
People don't do that. Stop it.
Why don't you get farther off the screen so we can't see you? So it was an amazing, amazing game. So as far as the other games, the Eagles game, I mean, the Eagles, like this last 2.5 games have been pretty good. I think you have the best offensive players, like offensive group in the NFC. I mean, maybe the Lions are playing a little bit better, but I would take your offense, the players on your offense, over anybody else in the NFC for sure, and most in the AFC at this point. So, I mean, they're playing like they're supposed to. It looks like you had a come to Jesus moment as a team. I don't know if you went into one of those dark huts with Aaron Rodgers or something like that. The whole team did as an event in the bye week, but whatever it is, it worked. I'm just hoping that bye week wasn't too early and you've got too much time for it to unravel again. And guess who's going to come? Guess who's who's going to start?
No,
he can't wait to take that bag off after you lose in a game at the end of the year that doesn't matter whatsoever. It's going to be great. I did read though that that there is no hook on Daniel Jones, and I believe that. And the reason that people were thinking that is because they didn't re-sign Tyrod. They had Tyrod, it would have been a little bit easier to bench him because you still have a chance. One thing I forgot about our game though, I didn't think Daniels was going to be in there for that final play. I didn't think he could get it there. He kept backing up too. He threw it from almost his own 35. I thought they were going to have Mariota come in just for the arm strength to come in and do that.
The way he
there were also
on that
at least
play
2 offensive holding calls, but whatever.
Hey,
2 offensive holding calls and nobody even trying to get him.
Mike, stop. This is an NFT's podcast.
Mike's out.
Sorry, Matt. Hold that.
Yeah, I don't really have too much to say about the Giants game. It's not even worth talking about anymore. There's no points to make or even attempt to make about it. Daniel Jones is still awful. It doesn't matter how many yards he had. He still had 2 turnovers. The Redskins have 50% more wins on the season. Nope. Redskins have 50% more wins during the season than both the teams that play in your stadium. It's unbelievable. You have 6, or we have 6, and you 2 are splitting 4. It's unbelievable how bad it is.
I will say that. I
was just about to say, if they were 6-2 as well, or like had a winning record, it would be unbelievable. But you were blessed with a great smokescreen, for sure. That is the only thing you have going for you, I will say.
Oh yeah, they're all
sure, absolutely, because there was expectations. There were never any for Daniel Jones. So I do have
Yeah.
I had somebody.
There was some. There was
I had
some.
somebody.
All right. Either way.
Oh, now.
So I got a couple of stats here for you. So Dak Prescott gets paid as much money per quarter as Brock Purdy does per year, and Brock Purdy is 3-0 against Dak.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams was 10 of 24,
Nice.
131 yards, and a below 60 passer rating. The best rookie in the NFL, rookie quarterback, is obviously Jaden Daniels, who said, and I quote, on November 9th, 2014, when he was 13, the Bears are terrible. So just want to throw that out there, that was an actual stat, an actual quote. I know we haven't talked about this in a while, but ever since that Giants boat trip, we're now 40-85-1 since that boat trip with that OBJ and the Blunt story. So, and I think the quote of the week comes actually from the Cowboys. I think it was in a post-game interview with Trayvon Diggs, where they want to talk about that play, and what's his response?
Oh, I love it.
Talk about these nuts. So it was pretty classic, and you can't. I mean, that was about as immature as Tyreek Stevens' play was on at the end of the game. Like that was the verbal.
They're unraveling.
Absolutely. Cowboys absolutely look terrible. They called up Dalvin Cook and thought he was going to give a spark. He did absolutely nothing. Whole run game did. He did.
Zeke scored though.
I don't know how, but yes.
I gotta say it was the best running performance they've had all year against a very good defense.
I don't know. I completely agree. They were talking about it throughout the entire game, how the Niners were not supposed to be letting this happen, and they kept happening. Same thing with the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
There was quite a few plays like right through the middle. They were like, "It's not supposed to be happening like this," but it did. That's all right. The world has a way of working itself out. Commanders won.
Let's not pretend that Dallas had a great. I think they had 50 yards rushing as a team.
Yeah, but you gotta.
So it's not like they ran the ball well.
But against San Francisco, with our year of rushing, I do consider it a bit of a success compared to what we've been doing all year against that rushing.
And the only thing you have is.
It is an upgrade from.
And the only thing I saw on the field was CeeDee Lamb. He's still. I would have just double teamed him. Let the rest of the team beat you.
And I will say, and I will also say, CeeDee Lamb, probably one of his first decent games all year. Like, there was actually a lot of improvements across the ball field this morning. We can talk about
Yeah, you're up. I was going to say, this is around the time last year that Prescott and CeeDee Lamb went from like completely off the book to the best duo in the league.
Yeah. I mean, again, there's nothing to be real excited about right now as a Cowboys fan, but I do say, like, again, the run game, as crappy as it was, I do feel it is significantly improved from what it was 2 weeks ago before Cook. I think Cook does add a spark that I was hoping CD or Elliott would bring, but he hasn't at all. CeeDee Lamb and Dak finally connected, although a lot of it was in the fourth quarter, which you guys would call junk time. But I will say again, the fact that we held it to a 24-30 game in a very, very problematic team for Dallas over the past couple of years, again, probably top 1, 2, or 3 in the NFC right now. There is some positives to take out of this. And again, it's like, it wouldn't have taken a whole lot of changes early on in the game to make this game much more competitive. I look at it as, our record now is 3-5, or 2-5.
3-4.
No, 3. I'm sorry, 3-4.
3-4.
Our record is now 3-5.
Yeah.
Go with spelling or math.
Yeah, with spelling. But no, our record is now 3-4. But there are some positives to take out of this. I would say, possibly, I don't think, the losses we took against New Orleans, San Fran, I mean, they weren't games we should have won, but I would say they're playing better in the loss against San Francisco than they were in a loss against New Orleans. So I do feel like there's improvement happening. And you're right, Greg, it's kind of happening at the same time it did last year. We had a pretty hard slump following that loss in Arizona last year that lasted for a while. We had a 500 record I believe, going into game 6 or 7 last year, and it just snapped. And I'm hopeful that that's what's happening. We'll see.
Should get Micah back soon, right?
Talking about Micah,
Deron
and
Bland,
the other
yeah.
one that should be coming back soon is Bland, and that's going to be a massive help to our defense. Both those players. Again, it's amazing to me how quick a team can snap around. When I look at Cleveland beat Baltimore with one player change, it is crazy the talent in an NFL team that takes a team that is trash and a team that's great and totally flip flops them in a week.
Well, the amazing part is that nobody. I mean, it's hard to really realize it, but the fact that all the teams in the NFL are excellent football teams. Every player on that field is the greatest player that's that's ever played in their city at their time. They were the number one player in their city at whatever position it was. So, I mean, it's like 1,000,000 to 1 that anybody gets to the NFL straight out of just, growing up like in football. So,
no. Great point, White Trash. Great point. It's that kind of thing that you look at and you say, okay, Dallas could turn it around next week. There's a lot of issues with money in Dallas. There's a lot of issues with other things, but on any given week, they can turn it around and play a decent game. Greg, I look at your team and what you're doing right now, and I know you're saying you're good on all points of the ball, but I feel like Nick Sirianni should write me a check for half of his freaking money, because I've been telling you for a year and a half to run the damn ball. So have you, so has everybody, and he's finally running the ball consistently. To me, that's the biggest difference in your offense. That's the biggest difference in your team. It's frustrating to watch because I love to watch you guys throw the ball 50 times a game and get sacked 10 times a game. But all of a sudden, Sirianni, the first coach in years for the Eagles, has figured out run the ball to give Jalen some freedom, and it's happening. Freaking, I'm sorry. Listen, I'm a big fan of what Washington's doing this year, but good golly, when you're down to a...
Good golly.
There it is.
When you're down to a Hail Mary pass in the fourth quarter to win a game, you guys really got lucky. And you're sitting there high off your hog like a late trash Kirk Cousins right now. Good. I'm so happy for you, but that game could have lost just as
I am claiming no skill in that win. We didn't deserve to win. I already said it. We didn't deserve to win that game. They just deserved to win it a little bit less.
No.
That's all it was.
Yeah. No, I don't even know about that. Hail Mary in the fourth quarter doesn't really mean you deserve to win it anymore. But
they deserve to win because they won it.
We go to my final gratefulness for the year, my final happy spot, and that goes to the people of the Netherlands, the Dutch people, who in 1625 decided that they were going to make a new colony called New Amsterdam, and they did. And that colony grew to a massive city and was eventually taken over by the British. And in 1664, the British founded New York, who has the worst football team in probably the NFL right now that takes the total, we're talking about smokescreen, off the Dallas Cowboys. Your team is horrible. Thank God for the Dutch.
And the red light district. Let's do it.
I like it, Randy.
And the red light district.
Listen,
all good things.
Right now, we're looking at the number 9 overall pick for you guys up in New York.
Yeah, it's not a quarterback though. That's what sucks. I mean, like
there's a couple more.
Yeah, we're like in this. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So I don't know what they're going to do. We've talked about that a lot this weekend too while we were driving. It's like, you're in like a quarterback weird situation. That's why they still have Jones. That's why they didn't take anybody else. Who are you going to trade for? You're going to trade for Matt Stafford. He's old. I mean, you're going to trade. I was asking people. I was like, you want to trade for I was like, Darnold might be available next year, and they're like, well, Daniel Jones is still better than Darnold.
Right, Chris, the crowd wants to know.
I would agree with that.
I think I do. Honestly,
don't you turn this into a
positive. The only person in the United States.
I would really like to see him. I mean, obviously, it ain't going to be with us. I could see him go to another team and do what like a Darnold's doing or a Baker's doing.
I could see that too.
And I would like
to see that happen for him. The crowd wants to know it. Are the Giants still making the playoffs?
No, they're not.
So you're saying they can't?
You know what the crowd really wants to know, Chris?
I don't think. I mean, mathematically you can, but there's no way they're going to turn it around now. And like last year, my favorite part of last year was that 3-game win streak with DeVito. Like I don't even see anything like that coming. But I do want to say this, and I'd like to know your guys' opinion. If they are going to eventually, Daniel Jones is probably going to have to get hurt, like I said, for him not to play. Who do you put in there for real? You put in Locke? Because I had this argument when they benched Eli
No.
years ago. Like, you
It's-
don't think they
you
benched
guys
Eli
got
for
the
Geno.
You guys got the wrong backups. Like your backups are horrendous.
Tyrod, you
Well, like I
should have
said,
kept
we benched
Tyrod.
Eli for
would've-
Geno.
You should. I mean, I'm looking at who was playing the other night that I was Mason.
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph was playing half decent. Like
Andy Dalton
anyone,
or
like,
some of
dude,
those like randos.
literally. I mean, there's so many quarterbacks out there. Like,
What I wanted to say was,
yeah.
let me finish. You brought it up. Let me finish. What I wanted to say was, like, they benched Eli for Geno, and Geno. I mean, it is crazy. We had Geno, now he's a starter in Seattle. Like, maybe I don't know, but I guess what I'm trying to say is put the younger guy in and see what you got. Like, they should have put Davis Webb in there, who ended up being like a hell of a, like, he's a good guy to have on the sideline to help coach and stuff.
Just don't let him touch the football.
Put DeVito in, man. It's a spark.
If you are going to put somebody else in there at quarterback, it better damn well be whoever you think is going to lose the most games. Because you ain't trying to put a quarterback in there to win games.
You can't try to turn the season
but that's
around.
what they keep saying.
Ship sailed.
Yeah, they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. But now we got to worry about that guaranteed money thing, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. But
then they still don't bench you.
Putting the worst quarterback on your roster in there, so you can try to increase that pick from 9 to however high you can get it.
Yeah, but like, in all honesty, what team actually plays to lose? Like,
The players never.
I don't think they do either.
The owner and the GM, and it starts from the top and goes
absolutely,
down.
Okay, but you guys are saying
Dexter Lawrence don't want to lose. Like, he still wants to go out there and play.
You guys are saying this right now, but let's just take the draft last year. Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams, okay? On paper, there was other quarterbacks also that were top 3, 5, 6 quarterbacks in that draft. But right now, if you look at it, the number 1 quarterback might not be the best quarterback in that draft. All I'm saying is, does the owner of a team really want to throw away a couple of wins that maybe get the fan base somewhat excited to get a chance at a quarterback who may or may not be better than someone down the line?
You got to try.
Too many teams have
There's no guarantee,
done
though. That's the problem.
You can point to teams in this. Greg, didn't you guys lose a game on purpose just 2 or 3 years ago at the end of the year?
I mean, I think it happens.
I mean, yeah.
I
know it happens.
If you're a coach, you don't want to have, like, if you're a player, a quarterback, a coach, you don't want to have that, oh, hey, we died for this player that might take my job. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I hear you when you say an owner, but when you actually put that down on paper, what that means for the player, I can't believe that those players aren't out there trying their hard out to make a play.
But I thought, like,
they absolutely are.
They are. But the coach doesn't have to put the right players out there, and the coach doesn't have to call the right plays, and that happens every single year.
But even the coach, like, I can't fathom that the coach says, "Hey, my job might be on the line.
I crossed my mind on that 2-point conversion."
I didn't say every coach, but a coach who is secure and with his GM on the same page, it happens every single year.
What coach is secure in a position where they're looking at making a dive to get a quarterback?
A one who has been told by his GM that if you do this, you will be back.
I don't know.
They just said our coach and GM safe. They said that. They said that. And they also said Daniel Jones start next week.
Listen, shitbag. I'm not
all right. Well,
all that.
I'm just
saying. You boys ready for a break here?
Let's take a break.
Take a break.
But
in the meantime, check out the clashingconferences.com. Join Patreon. Get in there. We'll be back soon.
Where's the buzzer?
Hey everyone, thanks for listening. Just a few quick reminders for everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Michael Jordan is the GOAT. And check out our fellow podcaster, Jim Montgomery, with This Day in Philly Sports History. Thank you.
All right, boys, we're back with the second half. I still don't really know what to do with my hands. Matt does a lot of stuff with my hands. I feel like Ricky Bobby out here. Gonna keep waving a little bit. But you know what that means, right? I don't know if anybody know what the second half here means, but Paul, what time is it?
Is it Mad Libs?
Does anybody know what time it is?
Matt Lips.
Oh, content manager, you know what to do.
One. That's gonna come back and haunt somebody. No, they're quick. They're quick. Easy one goes bye-bye.
Spin the
dear
wheel.
And Matt goes like this twice. And then he comes back and goes, "We're back." Not really going to do Matt Libs, but I always wanted to do that. So it was fun. I like the music. So here we go. On to the competition and week 9. We are going to spin the wheel 3 times. We're going to get 3 new categories. Let me tell you real quick who the matchups here and what the spreads are. We got Jacksonville going to Philadelphia. Philadelphia by 7.5. We got Dallas going to Atlanta. Dallas plus 2.5. And we got an interdivision matchup. We got Washington going up to what is apparently the crappiest stadium in the NFL, and the New York Giants. Giants are getting plus 3.5 in that one. We got our first category up here. Looks like we got most points, team total. All right. That's category 1. Let's get a second one.
Not any field goal kicker's going to win that one.
That's team total, right?
I know. Bunch of field goal kickers you guys are.
You will be too. QBR. Team total.
QBR, again, team
Yeah,
total.
that runs so much with the last one.
Was it Paul's team that got snubbed on that one last time when
Mariota,
the backup came in?
Yep, Mariota had an incomplete pass. Yep. Against us last time.
So I used that last week. Let's get one more.
I
Could
wasn't
use
against
that
us.
last week.
Oh, God, there's Aubrey all day.
We got longest field goal, which when it's team total, as we all know now, is an accumulation of the field goals kicked by your team. So a 50-yarder and a 30-yarder gets you 80 yards total for your team. That's how that's going to work. Accumulation of field goals, total yardage. All right, so I think we ended with Randy. Why don't we lead off with you in the second half?
I think that just as good as any team are getting a team sweep and a pick
I
is Dallas.
lost my eye.
That's
all right. That's all right.
Yeah, he has a wall of
glasses. Matt's always got 17 pair of glasses. I'm prepared for everything. Let's keep the show rolling. I'm doing more stuff with my hands.
Hey, did you put the timer on the TV so we don't go over?
Here we go. Listen, white trash. Please
I forgot the timer. I'll do better tomorrow. I'm going to go to the prop store tomorrow.
So I think just as good as any, Dallas could easily get the team total field goals. The QBR, I think Atlanta is gonna be a shootout. I think that's gonna be a high scoring game. So I think I'm gonna give team total points to Dallas. I'm also gonna go with the QBR for Dak. It's all a crapshoot. Who knows with that stuff? Jaden Daniels is hurt. I don't know if he's gonna be competitive.
Greg, what rumors have you started? What are you doing?
I don't know, man.
Man.
Daniel Jones, I don't think is likely to even finish the game, so that's my opinion on that.
We don't score points at home, so we don't have a shot at that.
That's true.
That's
maybe a couple field goals.
As far as the picks, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Washington beats the Giants at home. I'm going to say that I think that the Eagles don't cover the spread just because I love the pick against the Eagles. I think they win, but I don't think they cover the spread. Dallas, they're playing decent. I think they have a good shot. It's tough. Atlanta's playing good ball. Drake London is playing unbelievable right now. And they're running the ball with Robinson well, but
they have a lot of good people on defense down in Atlanta too. I'm not sure that they're going to let you run all over them like you think is going.
I don't care. Hey, we might get 59 yards this week.
Guys.
That'll be a record for the week.
I'm a little disappointed, man. Everybody knows Dallas stinks right now. Why aren't you beating him up for being optimistic?
Because their 2 losses came against
at the time
2 of the best teams in the NFC.
Right.
I mean, at the time,
and I haven't gotten
Detroit
to my picks
is a powerhouse.
Either, so.
But they got blown out a lot this year too. People have been putting a lot of points up against them.
But look at their loss, though. I mean, they lost to the Ravens. Believe me, I hate the Cowboys more than anybody here on this show. Maybe.
You do hate them more than me.
So they lost to the Ravens. They lost to the Saints. At the time, the Saints were ridiculous.
Unreal.
They lost to the Lions and they lost to the 49ers. They've lost to 4 good teams, in my opinion.
All right.
I can't say that about the Eagles. I think the Atlanta loss. I don't know what Atlanta is in Tampa Bay. Their loss to Tampa Bay. I mean, I don't know. Now Tampa Bay is a totally different team than what they were.
Yeah, they are.
A month ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't know. I don't think Dallas is a great team, though. I mean, I think they're going to struggle to run the ball. And CeeDee Lamb had 17 targets. All you got to do, they're gonna bracket CeeDee Lamb next week and make you throw it to Dwaddle, whatever the hell the guy's name is.
Freaking Ferguson.
Somebody's going to get it other than CeeDee Lamb.
Tolbert dropped a really nice pass last week, by the way. Yeah. Should have been about a 35-yard pass.
So, I mean, I'll jump in. I'll go real quick. I mean, I guess I shouldn't have stopped talking. I apologize. I am going to take the Birds minus 7.5 at home against Jacksonville. I think we win the game by 10, around 10. I think it's Doug's homecoming, so there's going to be a little love affair for that. But I think the boys play. I think the boys play well, and I think we continue the momentum. I think Atlanta upsets Dallas. I think Atlanta is a sneaky. Upset. Well, I'm sorry. I think Atlanta wins by. I think it's going to be a close game. I think they win by 3. I think they barely covered that spread. And I think the Commanders go up to New York and sorry, Chris, put the nail in the coffin of the Giants. I really do. I don't know.
I don't know if they'll kill us, but it won't matter either way.
I think you guys are going to have to make a decision on what you're going to do with the clause, the injury clause of DJ or whatever it is. I don't know much about it, from what I hear, there's a clause that says if he gets hurt, he gets his money guaranteed.
They're not calling plays like they care about it for sure. It's open season on
him.
They don't.
So,
see, you got another run right up the middle. Like, it wasn't much of a run, but yeah, they just run him. They don't. That's one thing you guys can all say. That boy is tough, man.
I told you I would have quit on the team,
and he just keeps coming back.
Quit on the team.
He plays hard, man. On the coach. He plays hard.
Out on the team, I would have quit on the coach and be like, "You got to freaking stop, dude."
I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
So back to the competition. Most points. According to Vegas, I think Vegas has the Atlanta game at 51, 52. I think the Eagles are right around 46, 47. I'm going to say it's probably going to be the Atlanta Dallas game. I think it's going to be a shootout, like Randy said. But I'll take the Eagles. Hopefully I get the points there. QBR, I mean, right now, Hurts isn't turning the ball over, so this is the best chance we've had for Hurts to win a QBR. I know it's a team total. Pretty sure he's going to play the whole game. We'll see. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt. And longest field goals, we don't have a chance at this. My honest opinion. I mean, you got a game up in MetLife where each team kicks 3 to 5 field goals a game. Aubrey for the Dallas will kick 4 or 5 field goals as well. So it's like I can't. There's zero chance that, in my opinion, that we get a point there.
Who are you taking?
I'm going to give it to Washington.
Come on, give it to Aubrey, Greg. Give it to Aubrey.
No,
give it to me,
Dick.
I don't think third touchdown.
I don't think there's a chance you guys kick 4 field goals. I think Dable's feels he's on the hot seat. Feels he needs to try to score touchdowns.
He's not on the hot seat.
I don't see how not. I mean, if Nick Sirianni's on the hot seat,
it just came out and said it.
I know what's he going to say though. I mean, the GM and the owner is not going to say, "Oh, you're coaching for your life."
I don't think he should have came out and said it, but I think it was dumb. He came out and said, "I'm my GM."
And what did he say? What did he say last time? I think the last coach. It was 10 days after he said it last time.
Was
it firing your coach? Yeah,
Who,
I think that's what they were. Yeah, they were talking about that.
I honestly don't remember. Trying to get them days too.
Yeah, that's what they said. I heard from what I hear, Mayo is on the hot seat up in New England too after that win, which surprised me a little bit. So I'll be curious to see how that pans out as well.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I agree
Paul?
with some of yours for sure. I think I don't usually take like the spreads or whatever, but I think you're going to actually. I think the Eagles beat the spread in that game. The Jaguars are literally just literally a punching bag. Now you wait for this
White
one.
trash
I'm actually going to pick
piece of
Dallas
shit.
because I'm going with my head, not my heart. Because what happens here is if I get the pick, or excuse me, if I go with the pick, I either get the pick right or they lose. So it's like, if the Falcons, oh no, I didn't get the pick. That's all right. America still wins because they lost. So yeah, and I'm going to take the Redskins up in MetLife. I'm not expecting a game that's going to warrant watching for all 60 minutes. One, because it's not going to come down to a Hail Mary pass at the end, but also because it's a good chance it's not going to be good football again. I do think it's going to be a field goal fest. Hope of the weather is doing good up there. I'm going to take Washington's kicker, though. I actually picked him up in fantasy. I didn't have my kicker on a bye. Some guy cybered. He's only missed like 2 field goals since they got him. I don't have a clue who.
Yeah. The guy to kick the 5 against us, right? The guy you picked him up like that
up
day,
until
that
like he literally kicked the ground this weekend against the freaking Bears. They're like, oh, it got blocked, and they do a replay. He literally, I don't know how he didn't break his big toe because he literally just kicked the ground and it goes like up 5 yards and over 20.
I didn't see that.
It looked exactly like a block kick, except for the fact that the trajectory didn't change whatsoever. So, but I'm going to take him. I picked him up, so I am going to go with him.
So I just talked to Hurricane Schwartz, and Hurricane Schwartz says it's going to be 62 and cloudy at game time up at MetLife on Sunday.
Nice thin air up there. Let's get the ball.
Is this the game DJ comes back? And if DJ comes back, is Chris going to be back on the bandwagon?
We need one more.
No, DJ's. Wow. What are you talking about? You mean a good game?
Plays well. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Can you imagine this podcast next week if DJ throws 4 touchdowns and 300 yards?
I'll be happy for DJ.
Guy is going to be saying right there.
If DJ throws for 4 touchdowns and 300 yards, Mike's not coming back next week either.
Yeah, I'm taking the week off.
I might as well. Is that my segue?
Well, I got
of course.
Most points. Or what's the other one?
Oh yeah, he got ways to go. Yeah, he got.
So I got the QBR I got with Daniels. That's it.
Okay. Oh, excuse me. So, like I said to you guys in the text group,
no excuse for you.
I can't. Like, you know how I am. I'm 7, 8 games in now. I've been trying to be positive. They didn't break me. It's just I'm frustrated. I have nothing to. I mean, Tracy had a good game.
Well, guess who's not going to play on Sunday?
I like him.
Guess who's not going to play on Sunday?
Yeah.
No, but I mean,
is that definite? Is that I didn't hear
it. Like he's got a concussion. No, he didn't. He
went back in. No, I heard.
No, he went to the locker room.
He didn't go back in. I thought we were going out. All right, we were talking about it. We just didn't. When you're leaving
his head snapped back and smacked on the ground. He wasn't letting him come back in.
I would like to see him play, but I don't know. I like the kid. Washington Giants, I'm taking Clover. Clover's undefeated except for the tie, so she's never seen a loss. Haley had that streak ended this year. I would like to keep her streak going just for my daughter, but at the same time.
Why not end Clover's streak? Sorry, Clover.
I mean, not even that. Like, just, like, I'm on that fence now. Like, I don't know what we're going to do, guys. I'll never know if we're going to fall low enough to get a good pick. I don't know what's going to happen. So,
Do you ever feel bad? You ever feel bad for raising your daughters as Giants fans?
I can say the same thing to you, dude. Like, you had to wait your whole entire.
I'm just asking.
I can say that to your whole entire family. You had to wait your whole life for one. Like, at least I see
you do have me rooting for the Giants this week, just because I don't want to see
my daughters
upset.
My daughter's seen too. Like, I mean, my daughter's seen more than you've seen. So no, I don't feel bad for that. No, but
there was no knock on your
just
daughters,
their father.
By the way.
I know. Nah.
That dopey bastard.
It's okay. I'm always gonna be a Giants fan for life. So, Washington Giants. I hope the Giants win. I don't foresee it happening. It's crazy though. You get these division games. Our defense at times is still playing well. We're getting to the quarterback. Our secondary is not playing real well.
Yeah.
Banks got benched.
Yeah,
First
for
quarter. I don't know if you guys seen that.
Not toughing
There's
it
some
out.
bad stuff. Yeah, there's some bad stuff going on there too, man. So, I'm going to say the Giants are going to lose. I'm going to try to hope they keep it competitive. I am going to kind of bounce this back and forth. I need points for this competition, right? I won it last year. I got to have something to cheer for.
You stole it last year.
I'm hoping the Giants win.
Technicality. Stole it.
From me.
We don't throw touchdown. Hey, I lost a point last week, which I thought was bogus because I was watching the Knicks game and
you cussed.
I had nothing to do with the pod or anything. Had nothing to do with any of y'all. None of y'all saw it.
How'd that
by the way,
I didn't see it until I watched the podcast back.
Just to throw that out there, the Sixers haven't played any other. Well, we're missing 2 starters, obviously, and we have the same record as the Knicks.
Don't even talk about that.
How's
We're
that?
missing starters all year. Yeah, it's fine. We're 1-2, and you know darn well we're going to be good once this ball gets rolling. So we'll talk about that on the basketball pod. So I'm going to say the Giants get the team total added up with the kicks because I don't think we're going to score a lot of touchdowns. So we're probably going to be kicking field goals. Daniels is banged up. I don't think he's not going to play. And I think our defense is what's keeping us in games. I mean, all the games we lost this year, other than the Eagles.
Thank you.
Other than the Eagles, week 1 against Minnesota, and other than I think it was a Cincinnati game.
Half your games.
But we were in every single game. We were competitive in the games. So even last night, it's just the way it is. I think we'll keep it close. It's a division game. Jacksonville, Philly, I agree with Paul. I mean, and Greg. I think Philly, I don't know if it was me talking trash. I don't know if I got them rolling like Greg said.
I really feel like that you are the bulletin board material for not just us. I feel like your impact expands farther out.
It could
By
be.
the way, the Jaguars just gave away Cam Robinson to the Vikings. So you're welcome. So now you get an even easier time since he was like their best defensive player.
Yeah. That's going to solidify my pick. I think the Eagles are not only going to win, they're going to cover. And I bet they score the most points out of all of us this week.
Don't do this to me, Chris.
I'm hoping it's a kiss of death, buddy, but that's going to be my pick for that. So Eagles will get the team total. They'll get the win. Washington will get the win, but Giants will get the picks, the kicks. Atlanta and Dallas, man. I really don't think Dallas is that good. Like I don't think they're going to go in Atlanta and win. I think Atlanta wins that game. And QBR, because I need points in this thing, Daniel Jones' QBR is not bad. And we're probably going to be...
It's actually really bad.
We're probably going to be dinking and dunking, and he's probably going to have a decent percentage because you don't throw the ball deep. And I'm hoping he gets I'm hoping to get 2 points this week. I'm hoping to stay within the competition and have a shot to go back-to-back.
Did we ever go over the actual standings?
Really bad.
All right.
I know we went
gotta
over
have something to cheer for. Lewis,
the points this week.
Lewis is proud of his shirt. I gotta have something.
We didn't. I can run through it real quick. Steven, if you can nod your head for me there in the background if I get this right. But I believe we have Greg at 10. I think we got Paul at 9.
Ooh.
I think we got Topher and Randy both at 6 after Topher loses that
hold up
point
a quiet back, please, Chris.
For the curse word. So
well, I did lose a point for a curse word for the first time.
That keeps you at 6. You would have been at 7, I believe.
Yep.
So I got confirmation there from the production manager.
No.
Yes.
So, Mike, I got to ask you a question.
His back.
Are you now a Yankees fan?
Never.
No, I mean, I'm not rooting for... I'm kind of watching the World Series, but I'm not rooting for anybody in particular.
Okay, figured I'd ask.
Other than my parlays. All right, well, looks like that's the predictions and picks for Week 9. Does anybody have anything else before we get out of here?
No, there's a couple big injuries this week. Just wanted to, what do you guys think is Houston going to pull the trigger and go after anybody else now that their big guy is hurt with the ACL tear?
I think they're better off without him. Honestly, they have 2 good receivers, Nico Collins and Tank.
You do understand that Nico Collins
Baltimore just picked up.
Baltimore just got Deontay Johnson from Carolina.
Johnson, that could be an interesting little change up to their team.
He's not.
He's
not expected back until like week 10.
He's on IR.
Yeah. I know he's on IR now. I honestly don't think Houston's is going to go after another receiver. They got good receivers.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I thought how floating Cooper Kupp out there was. I was like, why would you float him? And then he had a decent week, so I guess he's out for sale as well.
Puka Nacua looked great too this week. It's like, they're both back.
Yep.
They could be dangerous down the stretch.
All right. Well, speaking of getting back, we're going to get out of here. We're going to start looking forward to week 9. The 5 of us are going to go on a quick rescue mission. We're going to try to save Mike from the basement, get him back on the pod tomorrow for baseball. Try to get Tyreek Stevenson out of the basement, get him in Arizona for the game next week. See if he can stop a 70-yard pass.